And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from it. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Oh, Tank's gonna kill him. Tank's gonna kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's gonna kill him because he will not get hit.
The boxing world is stunned as Gervonta Davis appears in the best shape of his career ahead of his fight with Jake Paul. Training footage shows him smashing the heavy bag with explosive power and perfect precision. His sharp movement and relentless energy prove how seriously he's preparing, leaving experts impressed by his conditioning and confidence leading into the matchup. Analysts say Gervonta Davis has a strong chance of winning, but only if he fights smart. They stress that he must rely on movement, ring IQ, and timing rather than chasing an early knockout. Tank's brilliance comes from his patience and ability to read his opponent's rhythm. Experts believe that if he sticks to hitting and moving, Jake Paul won't handle his accuracy and speed. Davis is known as one of boxing's most explosive punchers, but his defense and counterpunching are what truly make him dangerous. Many agree that when he fights with discipline, no fighter at Jake's level can match his combination of technique, power, and footwork.
His speed and, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
Experts predict Jake Paul will face a harsh truth once he steps in the ring with Gervonta Davis. They argue Tank's experience, speed, and fight IQ are far above anything Jake has seen. Jake's previous opponents, though strong, lacked Tank's explosive timing and ability to punish mistakes. Analysts expect Tank's power to overwhelm Jake once he lands clean. They describe Jake's defense as raw, while Davis's ring experience lets him calculate every move. With that in mind, many see a knockout as almost inevitable, believing Jake won't have the stamina or defensive instinct to survive once Tank connects, leading to a sudden and brutal finish.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all want to say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level. And it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killer.
Chilla Killers. Weight has become one of the biggest discussions around this fight. Some argue the size difference is too big to ignore, while others believe Gervonta's skill will erase the physical gap. Fans and analysts remain divided, with some questioning if the fight should even happen due to Jake's larger frame. Still, Tank supporters say his precision, discipline, and speed allow him to beat bigger fighters with ease. They remind everyone that boxing isn't about size, it's about timing, angles, and control. Many feel Jake's fundamentals are still too basic to threaten Tank, and Davis's superior technique will neutralize any size advantage Jake has.
WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional record.
Michael Bisping acknowledges Tank's incredible power and skill but warns that size can't be dismissed entirely. He respects Gervonta's ability to beat bigger fighters, yet reminds fans that physical advantages always matter. According to Bisping, Tank can outthink and outmaneuver Jake, but the weight gap may test his endurance and ability to absorb shots. Still, he praises Tank's mindset and believes if anyone can beat a larger fighter, it's him. He concludes that while size is a real factor, Davis's technical brilliance may still be enough to overcome Jake's physical edge if he executes a flawless strategy.
Taking on Mike Tyson, that's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday, because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous, and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to...
Several analysts argue that Gervonta Davis's resume has been unfairly disrespected. They point out that fighters who face Tank often become more popular afterward. For example, opponents like Lamont Peterson, who weren't widely known before fighting Davis, gained major recognition afterward. Analysts say this proves Tank's star power and influence in the sport. They reject claims that he isn't the face of boxing, stating his fights create opportunities and excitement. To them, criticizing his legacy ignores how much he has boosted other fighters simply by sharing the ring with them.
Ongoing discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound championship.
Coach Reg offers a balanced perspective on the criticism toward Davis. He reminds fans that Gervonta has already achieved more than most fighters his age. In his view, there's nothing wrong with taking high-paying fights after proving yourself. Reg believes Tank deserves to secure his financial future after years of risk and sacrifice. He says every boxer reaches a point where life-changing paydays matter. To him, critics overlook Tank's contributions to the sport and underestimate his commitment. Whether Tank retires soon or keeps fighting, Reg believes he has already cemented his place as one of the top lightweights of this era.
I mean, especially Tank been talking about retiring, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical of Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputed. And you got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age, so I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. You know what I mean? Plus, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So, I think, get the bag and go. If that's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we all wanted to see him fight.
Yeah.
Some analysts say the attention around this fight also comes from Davis's cultural impact and star power. As one of the most popular American fighters, Tank naturally draws massive media and fan interest. His fights are not just sporting events, they become cultural moments. Experts note that his fame brings both admiration and hate, and public perception plays a big role in how these matchups are viewed. Still, most agree his talent, not just his popularity, earned him this stage.
Especially an American black fighter, right? Everything is embellished and, made into a bigger deal, especially when they're popular fighters like Gervonta Davis. Or Floyd Mayweather has a close fight with Castillo Maidana, and it's the end of the world. Andre Ward has a tough fight with Kovalev. Oh, it's the end of the world. He cheated and all this stuff. Jermell Charlo has a close fight with Castano, so on and so forth, right? Oh, Jermell, it was a robbery, and it turns into this big deal. But back to Tank's resume, his last opponent was Lamont Roach. I thought he won the fight. There wasn't this crazy action happening on Lamont Roach's side prior to that knee thing. I feel like when the knee fiasco happened, that's when the fight started to pick up a bit. And Lamont Roach, I think what he deserves credit for is he exceeded expectations that people have for him. But you can't score a fight based on expectations. You feel me? Right? Like, you don't get a fight and get the victory because you did better than people thought you were going to do. That is not how you score boxing, right? You don't get more points because you're the underdog and you did better. It's not how boxing works at all.
Many analysts see this fight as more of a global spectacle than a traditional boxing contest. Jake Paul's rise from entertainment and social media made him a crossover figure rather than a classic fighter. Experts argue the purpose of this fight isn't only competition, it's to capture mainstream attention. With Netflix broadcasting it, the event guarantees massive global reach. While many expect Tank's elite experience to dominate, others believe Jake's celebrity appeal keeps the event thrilling. This fight blends entertainment and boxing. Skill meets spectacle, and no matter the outcome, millions will watch worldwide.
I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote-unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is, you know...
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then...
It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when there was
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because he will not get hit.
Stephen Fulton defends Gervonta Davis against claims that he's chasing easy money. Fulton argues every fighter has the right to secure wealth, especially in such a dangerous sport. He notes Tank has already proved himself through years of dominance, and taking high-profile fights now is smart. Fulton says Davis earned the right to balance legacy and financial reward. His defense reflects a growing belief in boxing. Fighters deserve to capitalize on their value instead of being held to outdated standards.
Would have taken that fight, especially with the payout. It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers would be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Cause I mean, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, cause none of us would deny that money. They talking like they wouldn't.
Eddie Chambers warns that underestimating Gervonta Davis would be a huge mistake. He acknowledges Jake Paul's physical edge, but insists Tank's timing, power, and IQ make him dangerous for anyone. Chambers says Davis's fast reactions and explosive combinations can break down bigger opponents who lack elite defense. He claims that unless Jake becomes a truly powerful puncher, he won't handle Tank's precision and intensity. According to Chambers, Davis remains one of the sport's most dangerous pound-for-pound fighters because of his patience and composure. His comments highlight that size means nothing against a fighter as skilled and mentally sharp as Gervonta Davis.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what it's created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, you know, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from it. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
That wraps up today's video.